So there were these three guys who were hiking through Africa. There was a Frenchman, there was an Englishman, and there was an Australian. They had been traveling and hiking for about 4 or 5 days. They'd finished all their food, they had no water, they couldn't find any water. They were bitten by flies, by mosquitoes, and anything else that had 6 legs, and they were not very happy. But they desperately needed water more than anything else. On about the 5th day, they got to the top of this little kopje, and they got to the top and looked down, and what did they see at the bottom of the valley but this beautiful, pristine lake? They scampered down the hill, removing all their clothing, all their equipment, got to the bottom, got to the lake, stark naked, jumped into the water, and were splashing each other, drinking the water, having a wonderful time. One of them happened to turn round, and on the shore were all these tribesmen that had appeared from nowhere, beckoning them, not beckoning, coming to the shore, come here. With that, the 3 of them swam into the shore, and the chief said, "This is a sacred lake. What are you doing swimming in our sacred lake? All 3 of you will have to be killed. Once you're killed, we'll remove your skin and make canoes so that we can get the confidence of our gods. Come with us. Tie them up." With that, the 3 of them are tied up. They go back to the camp. They go back to the tribal camp, and they're tied up against poles, 3 big poles. And the chief comes up to the Frenchman and says, "You have one last wish before we kill you. What would you like?" So the Frenchman says, "Oh, I think I will have a knife. Please give me a knife." So they give him a knife, and he looks up and he says, "I refuse to die at the will of your people. I will die on my own accord. Vive la France!" And he stabs himself in the chest. They go to the second guy, who's the Englishman, and says, "What would you like? What is your last wish before you die, before we kill you?" And so he says, "Give me a knife." Like my friend, the Frenchman, "Give me a knife." So they give him a knife, and he looks at it and says, "God save the Queen. I am not going to die at your will." And he stabs himself to death. They come up to the 3rd one, the Australian, and says, "What would you like with your last wish?" And he said, "Give me a fork there, mate." So with that, he gives them a fork, and he starts prodding himself all over his body like this. And with that, he says, "And there goes your fucking canoe."